Quick note, this is an older video we are resharing because we think the product is awesome. If you're new here, you're gonna love it. If you've seen it before, feel free to skip ahead. We're gonna be posting these throwback tech reviews on Wednesdays for a bit. Enjoy. So I've been playing around with the Supernote Nomad for about a week now, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I love this more than I thought I would. Link in the description if at any time during this review you wanna pick yours up. This thing is really nice. And yeah, I'm really gonna talk about a lot of the things that I like and then maybe throw in some cons at the end. Before I open up the notebook itself, I wanna talk about this, which is the pen, the stylus, whatever you wanna call it. This thing's really cool. First of all, ceramic tip, never have to replace it. Second of all, it actually goes in when you push, which I think gives it an added amount of realism when you're writing. The weight and feel of this is really nice. I think this is the Samurai pen. I love the way it looks, the way it feels. I love just playing around with it, opening and closing it, which is probably really annoying to everyone around me at work and at home. It feels really nice. I want an actual ballpoint pen like this. It's small, and I think for people on the move, for quick notes, for light journaling, to-do lists, this makes a lot of sense. And I could even see they're gonna be releasing a 10.3 inch, like a larger size at some point. I could even see wanting to get that size and have this size just because this can be with me all the time, quick notes. I would even wonder if they could do an even smaller one, just so you have even like of a smaller situation, but I really like this size more than I thought I was going to, but it is small. So keep that in mind. I'll be completely honest and just come out and say it. I really love this system. First and foremost, the writing experience takes a second to get used to. It feels different than really any other thing in this genre that I've written on. Remarkable 2, Boox. It's got more of a rubbery feel, especially as you're pushing down on this thing. And the whole like self-healing nature of this screen protector is just wild. Some other things to get used to. I do really like this feature of erasing, but I will say these touch areas are they can be a little finicky at times. So there's that. Maybe I'll do cons as I go here as well, but I like this system of having touch features off screen. They're a little bit finicky. One thing we like with tech is for bezels to get smaller and smaller. They're making great use of these bezels here, which I like. And I don't necessarily know that I would want smaller bezels on this. I think the overall design is really nice. It's a little bit thicker than something like the Remarkable, but it doesn't bother me. I think the only real place you notice is when writing off the edge like this, but even still, it's not the thickest thing in the world. It's not a huge deal. I actually, with Remarkable, a lot of times I like to take it out of the folio and write on it. This, I just left it in there. I don't know if it was a matter of not really caring, but I don't know. I like this case a lot, how it turns it off, and when you open it up, it turns it back on. I actually really dig the pen loop. It's not as, like this is a little weird, right? A little dangly, a little loose, but it physically keeps the pen in much better than Remarkable with the magnetic side. So quickly you will realize there's no home screen on this thing. So there's not like a swipe to home. You have this sort of swipe to dock, which is your home. From here, you can see your quick access notes, your last opened. You can create a new one on the fly, recent files, your files, digest, mail, to do calendar settings. I have my Kindle app here. There's 2 apps currently you can get on the system, Kindle, and then you can use your finger. It isn't as nice as just using the stylus for everything. Let's go over here to apps. The App Store has Atelier, is how I'm gonna say that, and then Kindle. I haven't played around with that much. I don't draw as much as I used to. I've heard really great things about it though. Battery's been great. I've charged this once since I've had it and we're at 50%. I've been using it daily. Battery's been way better than I even thought it would be. You can do your Supernote Cloud, which is what I chose to use, but you have these 3 other options as well: Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, which is nice. So linking here, you can edit the name. There's some side loading with apps, add different apps. I'm an average consumer. I don't really get down deep into the nerdy aspects of tech. I don't know how to play around with them. I just know you're able to put other apps on here if you want to, but it's not in the App Store. I do the single swipe up on the right side to refresh. That's just super nice when you're messing around with settings and you get a lot of that ghosting to be able to quickly shoop. Or if you like do something like this, and then you do erase it. If it's ghosted a little bit, which it slightly is here, you probably can't see it, just to get rid of that and feel clean. It's super nice. I guess the closest thing to a home page here is files. So if you click here, you have your whole file system. All I've really played around with is Note, right? I've started building out my folders. Within work, for instance, I have my 9 to 5 meetings, my YouTube channel meetings and notes. And you can always get back to those by swiping down. You also have your URL linking trail up here, so you can go back by navigating across the top, which is super cool. Much like Remarkable, it's simple. I have checked my mail on here a few times, which is fun, pretty slow, which is fine. I didn't play around with the calendar. I have a good calendar system on my Mac and my phone and stuff, but it's cool that's in here. You can add Outlook, Google, all that kind of stuff. If you wanna put a lot of your planning, organization, and notes on one device, there's a lot here. They've checked off the most important boxes of like information, tasks, thoughts. A lot of you maybe have heard me before talk about Do More Better by Tim Challies. It's a great book. I'll link it down below if I can remember to, but it really helps you with your productivity by helping you start with your life's priorities and then putting things in the right place first. I still go by a lot of the rules from that book, and those apply well to this device as an all-in-one encompassing device. It's something I have found, which I don't know if I'm able to show it on camera right now. Ben, if you want to, you can add this in if I can remember to send you screenshots. But when I found the written notes, when I send them to my phone from Remarkable or like PlayStation 1 graphics, it doesn't look like handwriting. It looks like a weird font. This feels way more, oh, that's handwriting someone wrote on an e-ink tablet. So it looks more true and real. And I've played around a little bit with the handwriting to text feature, but I have found when I'm using this, if I want text, like typed text, I'm going to use my computer. If I want distraction-free, focused, brainstorming, drawing different things and arrows and stuff, I'm gonna use this. If I'm gonna send something I wrote on here to someone, I'm gonna send them the handwritten notes. I'm not gonna change it. I have a real problem because I write in all caps most of the time, 99% of the time. A lot of these pick it up well, but I don't wanna send someone typed all caps writing. These might be features and settings you can play with and change. I haven't looked too hard. I don't know if any of these e-ink tablets can take someone who writes in all caps and make it into regular or not all caps writing. So just my honest review, and you guys can always ask comments or ask questions down in the comments. I just think this honestly is up. Remarkable 2 is my current favorite, but this writing experience takes Remarkable 2 and makes the writing experience better. And so I think I like the larger size with Remarkable 2 and I like the keyboard. This doesn't have a keyboard and it's smaller, but the writing experience is better. This feels way more, I'm sitting down to write out my thoughts on paper than Remarkable, which feels like, let me pick up this electronic stylus and write something out, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain. I like the writing experience better on this. Even though it's weird and rubbery, you get used to that. And then this pen and ceramic tip and the fact that it goes in, self-healing, you can really press into it and not have to worry. There's just a lot of things I really like about this device. And I think there's plenty of templates. My biggest template I like to look for is like a dotted, like a bullet journal template. I do want to talk quickly. Some things I do. See how minimal this is? There's nothing on the page. I like that. You can hide toolbars, double tap with 2 fingers, double tap down here to get your page numbers. Up here, they're like Kindle. There's only a few different preset options, but unlike Remarkable is what I meant to say. Unlike Remarkable, you can choose like a 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. You can really dial in the thickness, and that's something I really liked about the books. Remarkable didn't have it. This has that. You can get as thick, as small as you want, as thin as you want. I will say all you have is a fine liner option, a ballpoint option. It says ink pen is more like a calligraphy pen, fountain pen, or this sort of marker deal, which I've been using as a highlighter, which I feel like that's how they intended it. You've got black, gray, light gray, and white here as well. So Those are really your only options. In this, if you get the Atelier, whatever the app is called, you have a couple other options you can choose from as well. I think the swipe gestures features are fine. There's not a ton to do here. There's not a lot to navigate. I will say something I hadn't been doing, but is really nice, is if you come back in here, there's certain things you can do. Hello, right? Say that's my header. I'm starting like a new paragraph or something. You can come in here. I wish there was a shortcut like the 2-finger erase. I wish there was a shortcut for the lasso, because if you lasso this, you can choose it as a heading or as a keyword. And what that will do, and you can set it as, I think, a calendar event or a task, which is also super cool. If you're sitting in a meeting and it's for this one thing and someone's, hey, I need you to do this, and you're like, I don't want to swipe over to my tasks, you can do it within the note. That's super cool. If you click this, you can make it into a header, for instance. If I look here, it shows up in the headings. You can have your keywords. You can come over here and make a star, it'll turn into a digital star. And then as you can see, it will be part of your starred pages as well. It stars the whole page. A lot of that functionality is unique and a little bit different in my opinion. And I think if you're putting a lot of time and effort into creating pages and pages of notes with this thing, which I hope that you would if you were to buy one of these, they're not inexpensive, but they do a great amount of intentional tooling for your life, if that makes sense. So if you're like me and you were to buy this with your own money, you'd want to be using it a lot. And if you're pouring a lot into notes and stuff, you want to keep navigation and organization up. There's a lot of great on-page features like those I just showed you with the lasso that help keep you organized. You can go like a file within a notebook or whatever. There's a lot of organization you can play with. There's a digest too. So if you're looking at PDFs, EPUBs, stuff like that, you can add brackets around stuff that you want to highlight, and it'll throw it into this digest section. If you read a lot of online articles, you're porting them over to this to read them, and then you're like, ooh, that's a good point, and you're like highlighting with the brackets. You can come back at the end of the day and digest that information, write your article or something that you were doing the research for, whatever. I think that's a really cool feature. I haven't necessarily played around with it, but I do think that's pretty cool. Kindle's great. I've read a few pages of a book. You can read comics. It's gonna be black and white. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the SuperNote A6X2 Nomad. I really like this. I think this is up there as one of my favorites. I'm very excited for them to come out with their larger, regular sized paper model, their 10.3 inch. I hope I can work with them on a review of that as well. But as always, link in the description. My dog is scratching himself. There he is. As always, leave questions down in the comments below. I'd love to answer them for you or find the answers for you. There's a link in the description if you'd like to pick yours up today, and it will help the channel, which is always super helpful. Like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, watch this video next. I think you're gonna love it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.